evening and welcome to tonight's wonderful induction of our MHS members. At this time, will you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good evening again, members, parents, and invited guests. When the National Honor Society was founded in 1921, our hope was to create an organization that would recognize and encourage academic achievement while developing other characteristics essential to citizens in a democracy. These ideals of scholarship, character, service, and leadership remain as relevant today as they were in 1921. Now, 100 years later, the National Honor Society has established a reputation for excellence among administrators, faculty members, students, parents, and residents of the school community. This reputation is the result of years of commitment on the part of everyone involved. Through NHS chapter service activities, members maintain and extend the qualities that won them selection. Membership is thus both an honor and a commitment. The membership of the Dinwiddie County chapter of the National Honor Society has been earned by the effective demonstration of 4 qualities held in high esteem by the society. Mrs. Wilson will now review the pillars of the organization.
Scholarship. Scholarship means the commitment to learning. These students are willing to spend hours reading and studying, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We continue to learn far after formal education is ended, for education is an essential part of life. Knowledge is a gift and a responsibility, which leads to the highest success. It can be acquired in one way only, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp which we read the past and which illuminates the future. Candidates accept the duty to continually expand their world through opportunities presented by dedicated scholarship. Service. Service can be described in various ways. In the routine of a day's work, many opportunities will present themselves. Willingness to work for the benefit of those in need, without monetary compensation or recognition, is the quality we seek in our membership. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and our abilities to make the world a better place. Leadership. Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on our school. In taking initiative in class and in school activities, a real leader strives to change and aid others to obtain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interest for the interest of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources a country may have, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed, thus leadership is an important task for each of our members. Character. Character is the force within each of us that distinguishes that person from others. It is our individuality. It gives us our self-respect, which earns us the respect of others. It is the force of character which guides one through life and when developed grows steadily. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action and daily striving to make the right choice. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others. By demonstrating such qualities such as reliability, honesty, and sincerity, we hope to prove an example that we value character.
Candidates, now comes the time that each of you be officially inducted into the Dinwiddie chapter of the National Honor Society. This moment in time marks hard work and commitment to succeed. Your ambitions have brought you to this point, and so today we celebrate you. As you move forward, always remember that although ambition motivates us, never let it compromise your values and morals to obtain success and personal gain. When this is done, not only do we compromise character, one of the pillars of this great organization, but we also dim the light that is innately in us that's meant to shine. This is a high honor, and your parents, guardians, or friends are here to bask in your success and ensure that those things have been instilled in you always reflect who they are as well. So at this time, I ask all the candidates to please rise and repeat the pledge of the National Honor Society after me. I will strive to be at all times a model student. And will never knowingly bring reproach upon my school. I pledge myself to uphold the high purpose of this society for which I have been selected, striving in every way, by word and deed, to make its ideals, the ideals of my school, and of my life. At this time, I'll ask the back 3 rows to have a seat. First row, please remain standing. You will now process across as I call your name in order to receive your certificate and membership pin and card. Charles B. Wilder. Hector Garcia. Summer Martin. Christopher Miller. Dylan Bostic. William Cousins. Keaton Fowler. Claire Cobra. Natalie Everett. Justin Gregory. Phineas Johnson. Colby Massengill.
Jill Ryder. Madeline Ryder. Ashlyn Turner.
Let's give all of our inductees again another round of applause. At this time, we will have our introduction of speaker.
Good evening. Mr. Massengill has been a resident in Dinwiddie County since the age of 4, when his father, now retired State Police Superintendent Gerald Massengill, was promoted to the rank of First Sergeant and assigned to Petersburg area office. He is a graduate of Dinwiddie High School and Richard Land College, where he earned an associate's degree. Mr. Massengill attended and earned a bachelor's degree in urban studies with coursework concentrations in public policy and geography from Virginia Commonwealth University. In addition, Mr. Massengill is a graduate of the Virginia Executive Institute. After college, Mr. Massengill was hired by Governor Jim Gilmore as a special assistant. Mr. Massengill was quickly promoted to the position of Deputy Director of Constituent Services and oversaw the daily operations of the largest division of the governor's staff. In this capacity, Mr. Massengill was responsible for tracking legislation, responding to citizens, and following concerns from local, state, and federal government officials. In addition, he oversaw the public relations efforts of the governor. Mr. Massengill was asked to remain at the governor's office when Mark Warner was elected governor. Mr. Massengill served in this capacity for approximately 1 year before accepting the position of Assistant County Administrator in Dinwiddie County. In this capacity, he was responsible for overseeing the daily operations of the county and focused on issues related to planning and community development. In May 2006, Mr. Massengill accepted the role of County Administrator after serving 2 times as Interim County Administrator. As County Administrator, Mr. Massengill is the head of the executive branch of local government and oversees the proper administration and control of all county operations. Mr. Massengill leads the daily operations of the county government and ensures the needs of the citizens of Dinwiddie County and that they are met. He also advises the 5 members of the Board of Supervisors, the legislative branch of local government, recommends policies, and establish priorities for the considerations of the Board of Supervisors concerning the provisions of programs and services that provide the highest quality of life to county residents. Mr. Massengill also ensures compliance with federal, state, and local laws and ordinances, as well as maintains open communication with various sectors of our community, such as legislative delegation, business community, area governments, and county residents. In addition, Mr. Massengill serves and provides oversight on numerous boards, commissions, and authorities, to include Vice Chairman, Meharan River Regional Jail Authority, Vice Chairman, Appomattox River Water Authority, Member, Crater Planning District Commission, Member, South Central Wastewater Authority, Member, Crater Youth Care Commission, Member, Petersburg Area Regional Tourism, Member, VA Corps Board of Directors, Member, General Government Steering Committee, Virginia Association of Counties, member, Racial Justice and Inequity Task Force, Richard Bland College, member, Petersburg Methodist Home for Girls Foundation. Mr. Massengill and his wife, Courtney, reside in Sutherland, Virginia, and they have 2 boys. He is an active member of the community and at Okran United Methodist Church, where he holds several positions. Please welcome Mr. Massengill.
Good evening. I'm sorry, I seem like the bio is probably longer than my speech. I want to take a moment just to especially thank Mr. Garnes, Ms. Johnson, and Ms. Wilson for asking me to be able to come and speak with each of you today, especially for the new inductees. This has been something that Ms. Johnson and I have been trying to do here for some time, and the schedule hasn't been able to work. So this time is even more special to me because, as you saw, my son, Colby Massengill, was inducted here tonight. So I probably completely embarrassed him to death just by saying that, but I did want, I usually like to start off talking a little bit, usually a joke or something like that. Didn't have it this time. But something funny happened on the way here. So I get a phone call from a local pastor. And we have a really good relationship with a lot of our faith-based community. And the pastor called and I had a question about something going on at the county. So I was able to answer the question. And he asked what I was doing. I said I was excited to come talk to you all tonight. And he said, well, let me tell you what happened to me today. And I said, okay. He said, I was able to go visit one of the members of our church that had not been able to come to church for a long time, a very elderly lady that was in the church and not been able to go to church. He said, Kevin, I want to go minister to her. So I went to the house and rang the doorbell, and he said, she's really older in age, and it took her a while to get to the front door. And he said when she got to the door, she asked me in, and we escorted me to the living room, and I sat down and started to have a conversation. He said it was around lunchtime, and I hadn't eaten. And I noticed situated just in front of me, he said that there was a bowl of peanuts. And he said, ma'am, these peanuts look mighty good. Do you mind if I have some? And she said, certainly. If you like to have peanuts, that's fine. He said, so Kevin, I talked for the next 40 minutes or so, and he said he didn't realize, but he took 1 or 2, and then 2 or 3 more, and realized he ate almost all of her peanuts. And somewhat embarrassed, he said, ma'am, I am so sorry. I've enjoyed our conversation and had a really good time, and I had eaten nearly all of your peanuts. And she said, the woman looked at him just sincerely and said, that's okay, Pastor. I can't eat peanuts anymore since I lost my teeth. He said, I just sucked the chocolate off of them and I put the peanuts in the bowl. So I hope my conversation with you is better than the pastor friend that I had here. In all seriousness, to the newly inducted members of the National Honor Society, it is a pleasure for me to be here with you. I want you to know that each of you are the embodiment of what's the very best of your generation. But most importantly, you're the very best at your age that this county has to offer. Please understand what I just said. At your age, you're the very best of what this whole county has to offer. As you've already heard, that members to the National Honor Society, membership is earned through the effective demonstration of the 4 qualities that the society holds in high esteem: scholarship, leadership, character, and service. Grades alone did not get you where you are tonight. Please remember there's a whole lot of smart kids that aren't here with you tonight. So it's much more than that. You make up a very small portion. Look at the back of your bulletin, you'll actually see who's actually the other members of the society. You can see that this is a small group of individuals. So I just real quickly wanted to take some time. We've done a really good job of explaining the characteristics, but what they mean to me. First, scholarship. Scholarship is not just about getting good grades. These inductees have taken advanced placement tests, rigorous coursework, are committed to excellence in and out of the classroom. And again, these young women and men have to balance schoolwork, they have to balance community service, activities, many of them are athletes, and also a social life. They understand the value of knowledge, the importance of education, and all this information and knowledge will surely shape these individuals to be the leaders of tomorrow, which takes me to leadership. Leadership is extremely important. I get asked from time to time, Kevin, what does leadership mean to you? And I think leadership is defined by the level of influence that you have over someone else's life. It's all about leveraging your influence to make someone better. Please know for the inductees that the people are watching you. They're watching what you say, they're watching your actions, and that influence that you have makes a difference. I truly believe everybody in this room is a leader because each of us has some level of influence over someone else. What you decide to do with it is up to you. Ladies and gentlemen, the students before you tonight have already demonstrated great leadership qualities. They have spoken loudly through their actions, through their decisions and their choices. About choices, let's talk about character. Character is one of the most important of the attributes. To me, character is making the correct decisions. Again, your choices. Not just making the right decision, but making that right decision when no one would ever know what you've done, why you've decided it, but because it's right. Character is first learned at home. So for the parents, I can tell you if these individuals would not have good character if you didn't demonstrate it at home. See, Mr. Garnes gets the very best and the very worst, but I tell you, it comes from the home. So while this characteristic is embodied in them, it also is embodied in you. Keep in mind, inductees, that good character is not formed in one moment. It is formed little by little with each of our life decisions. Unfortunately, we're not born with good character. It's not something that you can be taught in a class. Even our smallest of decisions and interactions with people help develop our character in a good way or in a bad way. Your character will separate you from your peers. It already has, but will continue to do so for the rest of your life. I challenge you to continue to build your character and become the role model for others. The final quality is service. Service is not something that you have to do, but it's something that you get to do. Service is about putting others before yourself and to be willing to go the extra mile if needed. It's being aware of people and needs around you and being intentional about how you can use your talent, your gifts to help someone other than yourself. I wanted to close by sharing a little story. I think it'll be familiar with each of you. I heard it recently, another pastor, but I heard it recently, and it parallels the current state of affairs in our world today. And as you are aware, each of us have been infected and affected by the pandemic that's in our country. And I'm not just talking about COVID-19, but culturally where we're headed as a society. I hope that my take on this familiar story speaks to each of you. I hope it speaks to your mind and your heart and makes you a little different and ultimately calls you to action. The story goes like this. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, and Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. So you're probably sitting there thinking, come on, old man, what in the world are you talking about? I think all of you have kind of grown up at least hearing that old nursery rhyme. But I wonder how many of you have actually studied it. And being that you're, I think, the smartest of the smart, have character, I wanted to dive in a little bit deeper. And actually, let's take a moment to think through the implication of Mr. Dumpty's dilemma. Evidently, Mr. Dumpty was whole at one point, strong and vibrant, because he was able to lift himself to the top of the wall. He is moved from the ground, where he was grounded, to this place of great height or elevated position. We know this because he's seated at the top of the wall. He is perusing the world around him when something cataclysmic happens, earth-shattering. Something goes wrong. He was stable, but wasn't anymore. We don't know what it was, what happened, but whatever it was, we know it knocked him off the wall, and it must have been serious because he was at a pinnacle and now he's at his worst. It knocked him off his place of security and stability. He came crashing down. Now Mr. Dumpty, once vibrant, once whole, is now shattered. He's now collapsed on the ground, now broken into many, many pieces. But what grabs my attention in listening to this is who came to help Mr. Dumpty. Everyone knew he needed to be put back together again. The author chose not to say anything about his friends. He didn't say anything about his family. He didn't say anything about the church. So who came? Well, you hear my background, I'm a government person, but the White House came. So how do we know the White House came? Because the king got involved. Now in our nation, we don't call him a king, we call him a president. So the king, I think, called a meeting of Congress. Now how do we know that Congress got involved? Well, because it references all the king's horses and all the king's men. That's a legislative act, not an executive branch act. So I think Congress got involved. I think they, at least in my mind, they had this congressional meeting and they tried to figure out what's going on. You know, what could be done with the collapse of Mr. Dumpty's world? I think they must have passed a Fix Mr. Dumpty law. Who knows, maybe they called it Make Mr. Dumpty Great Again. But it was designed to fix it, to patch it up, repair his broken life and his broken world. So all of that is a backdrop to say this. The tragedy of the nursery rhyme is this. The best in the land, the best the land had to offer, the most powerful people, with all the programs, all the funding, were not able to fix Mr. Dumpty, nor his dilemma. So not only is Mr. Dumpty broken and in pieces, but apparently all the king's men also cannot figure out how to fix this. His world is shattered, and those who look to fix it were unable to help. Think a moment before COVID-19 and where we are today. Each of us in our lives will find ourselves at the pinnacle. And for many of you, you're there, but have so much life left to live. And there's going to be these moments when you're shattered. Just like Mr. Dumpty. His life was shattered, and those who looked to fix it were unable to help. The most casual observer of today's world is not unaware that our world today is splintered, it's divided, and it's shattered in many ways. That in every direction that we look, our issues, our Mr. Dumpty, our society concerns are there. Sounds pretty pessimistic, right? But it's become abundantly clear, again, that all the king's men didn't know how to fix the problem. You can almost name any issue today, issues that you're going to be faced with, issues that you're going to be able to fix. And it's not due to the lack of money, it's not due to the lack of power, nor to even the lack of desire. Issues occur, and the questions are why. And what needs to be done to fix it. So let me suggest this. We said a Pledge of Allegiance that we are the United States of America. But we are quickly becoming the divided states of America. And that you guys are going to be the ones to fix it. Back to the way that it was. The world standard today tells these amazing women and young men that they shouldn't compromise. That you all shouldn't work together, rather stay divided. Fight for what you believe in and don't back down. I absolutely reject this thought. Your generation has to find common ground. You've got to take what we've done and make it even better. I don't know what your objectives are in life. I don't know what it is that you're trying to accomplish, but I can tell you this, if your objective is to be successful, I can't find any fault of that. But always remember that success, which I hope for each of you, is about you. What your abilities and what your hard work will accomplish for you, and I have no doubt you will be successful. But when I pray each morning for this generation, I pray for each of you that you not only become successful, but in addition to being successful, that you strive to be significant. You see, significance is about using your skills, your gifts, to fix the broken pieces of our society to make a difference to somebody else, to others. I'm not asking you to be the greatest that's ever lived, or even the best in the land, even though you've reached the best of what Dinwiddie High School has to offer. I'm just asking this, and I'll close with this. I'm just asking you to live a good life, dedicated to service and sacrifice. Be of decent character, and have a true conviction to make a difference. Remember, you're a special group of individuals. You can indeed change our world. You can fix what has been shattered and broken, and that's the change that we need, and be that change for us. As county administrator, I get the opportunity to talk to a whole lot of people, and I can tell you this, I have the utmost of faith that if you do all the things that this National Honor Society stands for, you'll make a difference. And you will lead us in a direction that is so positive that we'll be so happy. And I thank you all so much for what you all have already done and what you're going to continue to do. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Good evening. This is a celebration. Okay. I would like to recognize our wonderful speaker, Mr. Massengill. Let's give him another hand. That was outstanding. Any Dinwiddie County Board of Supervisors, members who are present, members of the Dinwiddie County School Board, other Dinwiddie County public school officials and employees, and to my wonderful admin team, all Dinwiddie High School faculty and staff, and last but certainly not least, parents and students. I want to pause here and I'm going to let the students give their parents a hand. I would also like to give a special thanks to our Dinwiddie High School National Honor Society sponsors, Ms. Latrice Johnson and Ms. Susan Wilson. I truly want to thank you for your hard work and continued dedication to this process. Now, if you know me, I don't have short remarks, so just bear with me. I'm extremely proud and honored and elated to stand here among such great minds and such great young people. Congratulations to you all on your accomplishments and for being the newest members of the National Honor Society organization. This is your time. As you go forward, my message is not to let this moment be the only moment of your accomplishments. Keep achieving and go higher. And always remember, no matter how much you achieve, always be a good person. Never regret being successful. And never regret being a good person to the wrong people. Your behavior says everything about you, and their behavior says enough about them. For every community service hour, you did it. For every late night, working on a paper project that I heard about, or studying for a test because you were striving to get that A, you earned it. So here you are, a National Honor Society member. And guess what? You deserve it. Congratulations.
Again, congratulations to our new members of the National Honor Society for 2021. Mr. Massengill, if you will come forward at this time, we have a small token of appreciation for you. And many thanks for this president. We want to thank you so much for such an inspiring speech. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Again, printed on the back of your program, I want to give special thanks to, again, Mr. Massengill, Mr. Garnes, Ms. Brinley, Ms. Gibbs, Mr. Pittman, Mrs. Loving, Marion Rainey, who's working our sound, Mr. Walters, Mr. Gregory, Mr. Atkins, Mr. Weaver, Mr. Jones, Ms. McFalls, and Ms. Lundy. And also Mr. Mobley. There were a lot of people who were integral in putting this all together, and so we definitely thank you guys. And Mr. Garnes, if you have any further words, this will conclude our ceremony. We thank you again and congratulations and welcome to the National Honor Society.
Actually, I will say this. As you all know, because of our regulations, we cannot do a lot of congregating, but you are welcome to take a few pictures outside if you wish. And again, thank you for coming and have a safe ride home.